Welcome everybody back to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here at Backstage Live in the Warehouse District in the Alamo City. It brings me great pleasure to welcome back a legend, the man, Mr. Phil Anselmo, to Rob's MetalWorks. Phil, how are you doing?
Doing good, sir.
It's great to see you, my friend. Because of your collaborations with Corey Mitchell, I know that you guys have really built a strong relationship, and the word is already out that you will release an autobiography and that Corey will be co-authoring it with you. Can you share, and I know that's still coming out, not going to come out till 2014, but talk a little bit about your thoughts on the autobiography. I mean, what can fans expect from that? Is that really just the music life of Phil Anselmo, or is it the whole holistic picture of the man?
I guess I would want to say that it's not just a Pantera book. It's not a Pantera book. Of course, Pantera was a huge part of my life, but that was also just a moment in time, really. So yes, it's going to be a comprehensive book, as much as I can give, you know.
Starting from your childhood, Phil?
Yes, of course. And you know, there's always a interesting spot, like where do you end the book? Because it's like, it seems like as every month goes by, there's a fucking another chapter that's almost worthy of writing, and it's like, fuck, how do we end this thing? So
let Corey figure it out.
Sequel, yeah, part 2.
Well, cool, man. I think a lot of people would be quite interested to kind of see and hear in your own words how you've developed as a person and as an artist and all of that stuff. Will you do a book tour in support of the book? Most artists will do that.
I would definitely think so. I don't see. I only think that would help the book. You know, it's, I think, kind of mandatory, and I think that Corey and I should do it together. And if not, you know, toughest thing for me is show days like this. You know, normally if it weren't you guys in here, I'd have a whole nother interview set up. So it's like when I'm on tour, it would be very tough. It's always tough for me to leave the venue and go do a book thing. So I'd like to do that separately. Absolutely. So I can concentrate 100% on the task at hand and not keep looking at what time is it, you know, I need to get back, shit like that. So I would think the book tour thing would be completely separate, but also, like I said before, mandatory.
I'm glad that you said, you know, this is not going to be a Pantera book, and I think now people have come to realize and accept that, you know, that was a period in the life of Phil Anselmo. But obviously, the Pantera chapter will be big and significant. There's been, of course,
not to mention a selling point too, because people want to know my side of that particular story.
And I mean, there's been countless of stories written, and of course the behind the music thing that was a kind of a fiasco. But talk a little bit. I mean, what
absolute sham is what it was.
What can fans expect to kind of really get some clarification on in that chapter? And just if you could just share just a little, just kind of like foreshadowing.
Well, first and foremost, you know, I think there's a general idea out there. Everybody knows what Pantera was doing before I joined the band. And there is a suspect idea out there from general fans that know the band that I came in and changed the direction of that band. It's true. Hands fucking down true. But with that came a lot of struggle, a lot of I'm almost quitting the band for this reason, that reason, and man, it was tumultuous, the times, you know. But brotherhood did shine through, it rang through, and you know, there was a common understanding because those guys were elite musicians. They could fucking damn well do anything they wanted. And it was just a matter of saying, don't you hear how powerful this is? Don't you get it? And one of the most, I guess, telling things I could give away a little bit about the book was what really swayed the rest of the guys. Because when you're in a band with somebody, like I'm in the band with Down, what are they doing over there? Playing a honky-tonk fucking, playing a banjo and shit. I'm listening to a fucking Portal. I'm a different kind of guy, you know? But that's what makes everybody individuals, and that's, you know, Pantera, man, that's what made the chemistry. The fact that we all had our differences. But Dimebag is probably maybe one of the only guys that really picked up on this particular power as much as he fought against it at first. You know, we'd be on tour and I'd be like, want to go have a jam session? And we, back in the old Walkman days, I'd have a mixtape in. He'd take one ear, I'd take the other. And I'd be, do you fucking hear that? Whether it be Black Flag or fucking Saint Vitus, anything, you know. But it was really, the breaking point and turning point was when Kerry King from Slayer. Kerry, Jeff Hanneman, and Tom Araya came out to see Pantera on a Friday night in 1988-89. We befriended them. They got up on stage and we played Rain and Blood together. And Kerry and I kept in touch. Well, when Slayer would be off tour, he'd call me up and just be bored and, you know, whatever, and want to come fly down and hang out. And he's like, but I don't want to fly down just for nothing. I want to jam. I want to play. I want to play music, you know. If you know Kerry King, that's how he talks. So when Dimebag actually sat down with Kerry King and they really got into learning each other's fucking guitar player magic shit that I wish I could only fucking dream of doing, I think that's when Dimebag really learn to respect what these motherfuckers are doing out there in the underground. And at the time, Slayer was just at their peak. But Slayer, you know, they started as a Judas Priest cover band and fucking grew and became themselves and were, you know, fuck, man, when Haunting the Chapel and all that shit up, they were still building their resume, not playing stadiums and shit like that. They were underground, goddammit. Hella Waits. That's my favorite fucking Slayer record, you know? So it's like, I'm hearing all this shit. And finally, you know, and I know you asked me for this specific thing and whatnot, but one other memory pops in my mind is the fact that Dimebag was the first dude to really give Slayer a chance, too. We got stoned. It was the first house I stayed at in Texas when I first moved there, which, boy, I did a lot of apartment hopping. So to say this was the first house I lived in means something. That means it was early in the day. Dimebag's hair was didn't touch his shoulders yet, so it was this big puffball. And so we smoked weed, man, and I put on the vinyl of Hella Waits, and I put on a song called At Dawn They Sleep, which is still one of my favorite Slayer songs of all time. And he's listening to it, and I'm kind of watching him out of the side of my eye, you know, see what happened. And finally I saw that big afro start shaking. And so by the end of the song, he's like, motherfucker, man, that's badass. I was like, I've been trying to tell you this for months now, if not a year. Please trust the kid, you know. So anyway, man, I can keep going on and on, but in the book, you'll be able to read it comprehensively and once again, digest it for yourself.
Philip, Thank you, sir, for a great interview.
Anytime.
You never ever disappoint, and you really are cool as dude. I mean, a lot of people, man, and you are.
If they don't know me, it's like, fucking, why are you hating me? It's like, man, I'd buy you a fucking drink at a bar. It's like, fucking, what, you're just jealous of my fucking perfectly shaped head.
The biggest and the coolest. Thank you, Philip, for everything. Remember, everyone out there watching this interview, you saw the man, Mr. Phil Anselmo. I don't need to say anything else. You saw him right here on Rob's Metalworks.